Hello, guys. Welcome once again to another review of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Today, we're going to be talking about episode 6 of season 10. But before we go ahead and talk about it, I wanted to do a video about this, but I didn't get a chance to do it. Allegedly, or maybe really, let me just put allegedly for better purposes. Martell, we remember the case, the DV case of Melody versus Martell, communication harassment, DV case. Actually, that case has ended. The DV charges were dropped. He was only charged for the communication harassment, and I think he was asked to pay about 300. I saw it on. If you want to get the full info and the court document, go to Empress Radio's YouTube channel. That is where I saw it. Um, I was shocked that they dropped it down from a DV to communication harassment, but the law is the law, and maybe they didn't really, maybe there was no real evidence that, okay, this is how it is. That was why it was dropped. But you know what? I'm pretty sure that Melody is just happy to just continue with her life, and she's living her life, she's living her best life, not being bothered about what Martell is doing, what Martell is not doing. And in other news, we also have that a news that came in. I just saw this news on uh reality recaps Facebook channel. It stated that Chris Fletcher has lost his real estate license has been revoked. Apparently, he was fined for 4 charges. He committed some offenses that you're not supposed to commit when you have a real estate license. Something about him not being honest with the money, not being honest with the people he's selling houses to. About 4 charges. So
Oh wow.
his license has been revoked. So as at now, Chris Fletcher is no longer a real estate. He's no longer in real estate. I don't know whether there you can go back and reapply. I don't know for there.
They
So
did they took his license or they suspended his license?
it was revoked.
Oh, oh, that's straight taking. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. That's sad. Wonder what
Do
happened.
are they able to get it back if it's revoked?
You know what? I'm not too sure what the laws are for real estate,
Yeah.
you know, but I would assume once you've been revoked, and I guess it probably depends on the circumstances too.
Mm,
You might be able to get it back, but again, I don't know the laws there.
yeah.
But revoke sounds permanent to me.
For me, when I saw revoked, I was shocked. And when I saw the offenses he committed, I was disappointed. Um, because he always put up a front of being like, I don't, he always put up a front of being like, you know, the good guy, the calm guy, the puts together. Like amongst all the guys on Love and Marriage Huntsville, I see him as the guy that is more put together than any of them. So to see that, because part of the stuff that he committed was, they said, engaging in misrepresentation or dishonest or fraudulent acts when selling, buying, trading, or renting real properties of his own or of a spouse or child or parent, engaging in conducts which constitute or con- demonstrate dishonest dealings, bad faith, or untrustworthiness. I wonder, like, for them to like literally say, and he was fined. The first one I talked about, he was fined $2,500. The second one $2,500. In short, everyone, he committed four offenses, and the four of them were charged $2,500. The third one was failed to disburse and earnings to designated consumers after a written agreement
Mm.
was signed by both parties of sales transaction. Failed within a reasonable time to provide information requested by the commission. Hold on. Requested by the commission investigator and auditors. Like, I'm like, why is he holding information when he was asked to, show the informations? Like, so those four crimes, each of them, according to it, every each of those stuff
It
he
carries weight.
committed carries a lot of weight, and all of them constitute
Hmm.
revoke. So he got four fines, and all of them, the offenses were revoked. So
Wow. So I wonder, are they going
yeah,
to talk about that on the show?
this just dropped today.
Yeah, but the
Um,
future show.
okay, I don't know whether they are true shooting for the season. I would hope they are done shooting for the season, because I don't know whether they're done for the shooting or the season. If they are not done shooting for the season or show, surely it's gonna be on the show. But this show, they don't really show their real self. They're always trying to hide um every real thing about themselves. So I don't know.
Mm.
I don't know, but truthfully, I was disappointed that it came from Chris Fisher, because truthfully, I put him in high regards to every other man on the show. Truthfully, I'm not gonna lie. So
Well,
I was
I mean, I
I was
get it.
disappointed.
Yeah, I get it. He's more polished. He's been married the longest. He has grown kids. Um, they're pillars of their community. You know, it may have been some infidelity, but it just seems like all that has been resolved and they're back on track. So, yeah,
Mm,
that's really shocking. Really shocking.
mm. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk about this episode. But before we go ahead and talk about the episode, how would you rate the episode?
I would have to give it like a 3.7. And that's only because of one particular scene.
3/7.
Yeah, 3.7.
3.7/10. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Okay.
how did you rate it?
For me, I'm not gonna lie.
Hmm.
I forgot the show was airing.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. I forgot the show was airing, right?
Hmm.
I think our time is ahead of you guys. Like, I'm 6 hours ahead of you guys. So when I woke up
Okay.
this Sunday morning, I was preparing, like I was doing cleanup in the house to prepare to go to church. And when I was cleaning up, I think I held my phone, and I don't know what was going on. I just quickly went on Instagram. And the first thing that popped up, like, that was the only way. Thank God. I was saying, thank God I went on Instagram, because I had forgotten that the show was airing.
Oh wow.
Immediately I opened my Instagram, somebody posted a sneak peek, like a little clip about something that happened on the episode. That
Hmm.
was the thing that first welcomed me. That was what came immediately on my FYP. Like, that was the first video I saw. I just was like, oh, wow, I forgot. Yeah, Never Married Huntsville. I did not watch it.
Oh.
Then I later just quickly immediately went and watched it, so that I would set the live then continue, because I know I would have been busy throughout the day, so I wouldn't have time. So I had to just do it then. But I'm
Right.
not gonna lie, I did forget it. It's becoming something that I'm not expecting that like that, because it's rare for me to forget a show that I love.
Right.
If there's a show that I love, I've shows make me, because you guys time zone and my time zone, most times most of those shows be airing by 2 p.m. in my time at night time, 1 p.m. at night time, 3 p.m. at night time. And as far as
Hmm.
I want to watch the show, I would
Hmm.
be awake and watch that show if I want to watch it. That's
Right.
me.
Right.
But I think the only time I watched this Lower Marriage Huntsville this season, at the time when it was airing, was the episode 1. Since episode 2 to now episode 6, I have never catched it live. I'm always watching it after it drops, and Seoul is not now going to watch. It's not still giving me that. Oh, this is memorable. That like the episode is becoming something like so memorable that I would want to, like it was being printed on my brain that yes, this show is airing on this so day. I had to put it on my calendar so that I won't forget next week. Who knows? Maybe I might not go on Instagram. Yeah, I might not go on Instagram next week again on time, and the whole day will pass me by, and maybe I'll remember late. Maybe by this time I'll be like, I'm supposed to be somewhere. I'm supposed to be seated somewhere. I'll be like, oh, I didn't need to on satellite. So I had to put it on my calendar so I'll be remembering from now on.
Wow. So, in regards to all of that, what did you rate
Two,
it after you seen it though?
2/10.
A 2/10?
Yeah. It's
Ooh.
only one part of the episode that made me like I laughed and made me like, yeah, it got me intrigued. After that part, and nothing.
Mm.
Nothing.
Wow.
Absolutely nothing.
Okay.
Yeah. But let's go ahead. We started this episode with the continuation of Letitia and Miss Fletcher, Miss Nell. I was surprised that Letitia came back. Um, this was the post I saw the person posted when I remember the show, and I went on the comment section. The person was like, maybe Carlos called Letitia to come back and make sure they finish that conversation.
Yeah, it's a
Because the way she
possibility.
sat down in last week's episode, I would not have expected that she would come back um in this episode and come back and have that conversation with Miss Nell. But she did come back. And one thing I would say is that Latisha likes to gaslight people.
Hmm.
Because what is your shouting? She wasn't shouting.
No, I
I
didn't
don't
hear her
know the
shouting.
definition, because although some people always like to have different definitions to some words in their own dictionary. Maybe in our own dictionary, shouting is on a different level to her. Because I felt like she was coming in a passive aggressive manner. That was what I felt she was doing. She was trying to intimidate Nell or knock Nell down to make her know that, you know what, and Nell is not that kind of person that can easily back down from anybody. You know, um I felt like she was trying to make Nell look like she was foolish, or she didn't understand her environment. Like, the don't shout on me. Like, Nell wasn't shouting, and Nell was like, I wasn't shouting. I'm not shouting. She's like, yeah, you have to let's just respect her. I'm like, if you are the one that your voice is the one that is loudest. Your tone is giving aggressiveness. You're supposed to be the one to be telling yourself that, not Nell. So I felt like that scenario, I just felt like she was trying to just gaslight Miss Nell. But at the end of the day, I was glad that she came back and talked it out. But one other thing I didn't also understand was why she was talking down on the career of Miss Nell. Miss Nell saying she's a life coach. See, if Miss Nell says she's a life coach, that is her life. It's up to her. Like, Latisha trying to bring down her accomplishment and being like, oh, if she's a life coach, that means I have a PhD. I know that if the case was reversed and it was Melody that said this about Latisha's career, it would have been problematic. So I don't. That's why I cannot bring myself to really like Latisha, because she doesn't practice what she preach. She always been like, let's be peaceful, let's do this, but she does the same thing. So for me, I didn't like that she was diminishing Nell's accomplishments as a life coach. I didn't like that. If you do not understand how she became a life coach, fine. Shut up and move on. It's not your life. If you never would take advice from her, it's understandable, right? It's very understandable. But you trying to diminish her did not make sense. And she trying to be gaslighting to her still did not make sense to me. How did you feel about that discussion they had in that coffee? Listen.
Um, I kind of felt like Letitia didn't like that quiet smoke that Nell was carrying. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mm,
Nell was just straight to the point. I don't appreciate you pointing your finger and calling my husband out and whoop, whoop, whoop. And then she gave her the whole rundown. Hey, your husband mentioned my husband years ago, you know, on this trip that they went to or something, right? And Letitia, I know she remembers because she was sitting in the car when they had that conversation, you know.
mm-hmm,
And so, and that sounded kind of fishy to me then, and it still carries the same weight with me today. But yeah, Letitia wasn't ready for that quiet smoke, because as you said, Nell wasn't yelling. She wasn't raising her voice. You know, she carried herself well and she just let her know, hey, hold up. I'm not your kids. All that rah rah stuff ain't working, you know?
mm-hmm,
So when she left and came back, I was kind of shocked. I was like, okay, because Letitia, if you remember from the past, Letitia, when she gets in front of a strong-willed woman and they got chaos going on with Letitia normally leaves.
mm-hmm,
You know, she won't stay there and defend herself. Or defend the situation. She'll leave. So for her to turn around and come back, I was shocked. You know, so I just think she wasn't ready for what Nell was serving. And as far as making fun of her, calling her, well, undermining her being a life coach. I don't hate. You know what I'm saying? Nell is a woman of many talents. And
mm-hmm.
Letitia ought to get herself some more talents. Do something with that. What did she say? She has a uh what kind
No,
of
she said if Nell is a certified life coach, that means she herself has a PhD. She was like making a joke. She doesn't have a PhD. She was making a joke. Like, oh, if Nell can be a certified life coach, that means she has a PhD.
mm, yeah, hater. That's all I can say is hater. Leave Nell alone and let her do her thing. You don't respect the craft, so don't ask any questions when you need help. Quit
Exactly.
airing everybody's dirty laundry out. You know, that sly remark, well, now she's had infidelity in her marriage, so she should know how it feels, or something she said to sort of that. Like,
Yeah.
quit airing out everybody's dirty laundry.
The same thing she accuses Melody of doing too.
Jeez. We've all heard that before, but do you have to keep saying it? Is there anything new that we must know? Like, damn.
Yeah. But I was at least they are cordial now. They've talked over it, and hopefully it's going to get better.
I hope it lasts.
I hope they last. Now, there was another scene that was like every other scene was less important to me because after that we had Maurice talking to Kimmi about Martell. I don't want to talk about it now because I want to box all of them in one whole conversation like, when it comes to Martell. So um we came over to where Latisha, Ori, Marsau, and their kids were together, and we got to see Maurice and Marsau and Latisha's kid have their first confessionals. I was
Mm.
shocked.
Yeah, me too.
I was shocked because I can remember when Latisha said she would never use her kids.
Mm.
Wow, how times have changed. That's why they say do not say anything because you do not know what tomorrow will bring to you.
Yes. Well, they got a
Don't be
pretty
too.
daughter. She's really
Yeah, they
pretty.
do. They
She's
do. Like the daughter
she
is
looks like
she's
both of
very.
them. She looks
Yeah,
like
she has
both of
futures
them.
of the both of you will know that
Hmm.
she's a child of the both of them. It's
Yes.
very like you look at her, you will know, oh, this is Letitia's child, this is Masau's child. It's like
Hmm.
glaring
Yes.
there. But what I was so surprised about is that I got to see her because I remember there was a time that they were kind of using it against Melody for always wanting her kids to be, on social media, on TV. I
Mm.
remember they used it to say that it can never be them like that.
Mm.
How times have changed.
Mhm. Wow.
We've gotten to see the first son that's going to college. I think I've forgotten the episode we got to see that one. And now we've seen the first daughter.
Mm.
She even had a confessionals. So before you judge somebody, make sure you know what tomorrow holds for you because I'm pretty sure that if the court thought that this was going to be their circumstances today where they will have to bring their kids on TV, I don't think they would have said what they said about Melody then. But you know what? That's life for you.
Mm.
That's life. But the main thing I wanted to talk about that particular scene was after the kids left, we were talking about a lot of things. She talked about the fact that her and Nell have talked about it, and he kind of condemned her a little bit, being like, you know what, you're always on men's face, that doesn't look right. Um, but there was one statement he said during the conversation where they were like, they were talking about Nell and Chris, and she was like, she spoke with Destiny. Destiny's her friends. They've been like friends for a while. And Marsau said a statement. He said he doesn't really trust Destiny like that because Destiny is friends to everybody. And I did
Yeah.
understand him because if you're friends to everybody, you are not. You don't have friends. It's not possible to be friends with everybody. Even if you are in a group, like a full group, there's no way you are close to everybody in that group. Um, and he kind of been like, she's friends with everybody, and that doesn't look well to him. And I kind of agree with him that yes, I think she's just trying to like, I don't know, but I just feel like it's wrong, especially in this kind of group where we've seen Martell done some kind of ridiculous things, and still she's friends with Martell, very close friends with Martell, and still very close to the Scott. How did you feel when Marsau said that about Destiny?
Well, I mean, if you kind of look at Destiny, you see her loyalty lies with Martell, and only Martell. You know what I'm saying? Because who won? Because Destiny was, all close to Mel at first,
Yeah.
right? Then when things
Yes.
start going left, and they were splitting up and divorcing, Martell got custody of Destiny. Melody didn't. You know, so yeah, her loyalty lies with Martell. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I think her friendships are there so she can work.
Yeah. For me, I don't know. I loved what Marsau said because you cannot be friends with everybody. It's not possible. It's not possible at all.
Yeah, I mean, because you look at it, Destiny was working out with Trish, remember?
Yeah.
And son, and what's her name? Uh, what's her name?
Hmm.
I can't think of her name. That has the body butter. Um, she's
Stormy?
Stormy. Yeah, remember they were working out, and you
Yeah.
know, like okay, Stormy. We don't see Stormy anymore. So how come we don't still see you and Trish working out? You know what I'm saying? Things are just seems like it's kind of staged just to have you know a
Mm,
storyline. So that's how I feel about their friendship. To me, it's like a storyline.
mm. I also because after my thing is I don't even feel any of those ladies are friends because after reunion they don't talk to each other until when you hear that the new season is coming up and you guys have to start shooting. You guys now start hanging out. It doesn't give friendship.
Right.
It does it because I know I might not see my friend for 2 3 weeks, but I know those 2 3 weeks we've spoken regularly. So I don't know. But anyway, let's move on. This is the only part in the episode that I was like, yes, I did enjoy this scene, and that was the Martell Marsau scene. Maurice, sorry, Maurice scene. And Maurice was trying to be like, you know what? And talking about the interview he did with Arion. I don't know whether you ever saw that interview with Arion and one other lady.
I do believe I did see that.
Yeah. So talking
Hmm.
about that, where like he was like he's kind of lying, and maybe he was in a dark place, and that's why he did what he did and did what he did. Now, I said I was gonna talk on Martell in an extensive way because now these other cast members, Maurice, Marsau, Kimmi, Latisha, are now saying that Martell is not a good person. The time when Melody has been saying this that when Martell wants to go for you, it goes hard. Then they were saying Martell is a good guy, he's a nice guy. Sometimes they say you don't know where it hurts on a shoe until you wear it. And they felt very comfortable then allowing Martell to do what he wanted to do, use them anyhow he wanted to use, because at that time it wasn't affecting them. Because at that time, Martell's attitude was not affecting them. But now that is literally like an affect to their life, like it's affecting them seriously in life. They're like, okay, this guy is a problematic person. Now you're realizing he's problematic. He has been problematic since day one. Now they're talking. Maurice was talking to him about everything, and he started talking about the DUI stuff. Now this place, oh my god! Now that I'm remembering that, I can't stop laughing. Oh Jesus Christ! Do you believe what Marsau said? He hits an animal, then he hit a tree, then he hit a pole. How do you have so many accidents in one DUI? Please.
Wow. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I mean, I've never been to Huntsville, Alabama, but I can imagine there's like, a lot of forestry out there, and I don't know if they live in the suburbs, and then they got the
Mm,
businesses in the city, and then they have to, go through these streets that are really kind of forestry, But anyway,
mm,
I don't know, but wow, such bad luck. Now, I've hit a squirrel before, and believe me, after I hit it, I had to pull over, and my legs were shaking. Yeah, I was nervous. I couldn't. I had to pull myself together.
mm.
you know.
I,
Oh,
I,
and I hit a
I was
coyote.
there with Martell in the laugh because if
Uh,
I was there too, I would be laughing.
did you hear me? I hit a coyote, a big
You
male
said,
coyote. I hit a coyote.
"Oh my god!" The way Martell was like, "You hit it, and did it die? Then you hit a tree, like hit a pole." You sound like my 9-year old when he or she is lying, and that was true. So we're like, dude, how are you with a straight face saying this?
Wow. So all that he had to have totaled the car. You know what I'm saying? You hit an animal. You probably swerved off. You hit a tree and the pole. So the car had to been totaled after that. Wouldn't you imagine?
I was like, dude, stop. You're like 50 something year old man lying on TV. And a very stupid, it's like the lie, there are some lies you hear on TV and you be like, okay, this lie is plausible. But this one,
You
I
said,
was like, oh my God, Maurice, you are too old for this nonsense. I was like, Maurice, you're too old for this. Oh my
well, it
God.
tickled Martell. He was just laughing. He
Because it
thought
was
that shit
funny.
was hilarious. Yeah.
I hit an animal, then I hit the pole, then I hit the tree. How do you do that?
Gee, my goodness. That's crazy. Well, I'm glad they dismissed his DUI, though.
Hmm. Yeah, I was glad for that. Yeah, I was glad for that. Um, Hopefully it keeps on getting better for him. Apart from the fact that he doesn't lie like that, because that lie was,
I don't know.
he
Maybe he
was,
needs to just Uber at night. Because maybe he's not a night driver. Maybe he needs to just Uber at night. You
yeah.
know, save the animals.
Not save the, not save the animals. Oh God. Anyways, that bad aside, Martell and Maurice were talking about the latest stuff, the cheating, alleged cheating on Vegas, and he asked one question. I know Martell has this craziness in his head, but he
Hmm.
said which of the things I've said or which of the things that I did say was wrong,
Hmm.
and he told Maurice to his face, "Sue me."
Why?
And I noticed the way Maurice's face was quiet. How did you feel about it, knowing that he literally told him, "Sue me if you know I'm wrong," and Maurice was quiet?
When he was telling him, he was saying, "Hey, where did I lie? Where was it wrong? Everything that I said, where was it wrong?" Maurice couldn't say anything. So that to me, now I'm looking at body language, I'm looking at eyes, and he kind of looked at him like, "Nigga, like, really? You gonna say this while the cameras are rolling?" He didn't have anything to say. So it just let me know, yeah, Martell holds all the secrets. It was a whole lot of cheating going on within that little group of men. And Martell knows it all.
Mm.
That's why they don't really want to piss him off. They don't want to make him wild out on them. But he knows everything. He has nothing really to lose. I mean, the
Yeah.
friendships are already cracking. You know, he done hit Marsau's nerve with this. So Marsau don't want anything to do with him, you know? So yeah, this is what I was really tuned into, because I was like, this is really interesting here. You know what I'm saying? They keep pushing him. Now he's at the point like, well, then sue me. Maurice ain't gonna sue him because Martell probably has proof, you know? So this is gonna be interesting, you know, to
Mm-hmm.
see how far.
She has come.
Yeah, well, yeah, and to see how far Marsau can keep his cool. Because I think Marsau's gonna blow up pretty soon.
Mm. Yeah. But do you think, and also, yeah, I kind of forgot. Remember that Martell, when immediately they started the scene, he talked about Arion. Um, do you think he's really pushing for Arion to be on the show? Because anytime Martell comes on the screen on this show, he always makes sure he talks about Arion.
Yeah, but you know what? I noticed also he may mention her, but every time somebody mentions marriage, he like kind of puts the brakes on that. Like, wait, hey, hey, first I gotta make sure everything is right.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta make sure everything's set up just. You know what I'm saying? He puts the brakes on that because he's not trying to really rush into it because he's unsure.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'll never be Melody, and that's what he keeps comparing her to. You know,
Mm-hmm.
she'll never be Melody.
Oh my God. Uh, but I don't also think the cast members will allow her to come in because her mouth is like, ooh, is faster than a cup of water. And I just, you know what, the whole show just makes me laugh because I'm just like, okay, after this scene, is there anything important that happened? Maybe I didn't watch it well.
Mm,
Was there any other important thing that happened?
no, let's see. No,
Anyways,
no.
uh, sorry, I was checking something on my phone. Oh, I wanted to talk about briefly when in the episode when Nell was with her husband, they're buying toys for their kids. Um, is it then or in the preview for next week? I don't know. We're talking about this Lance and Destiny thing. It's giving me that, like, I feel like at this moment with the body language, the way that Miss Nell talks, she wants Destiny far away from her son. I don't even think she wants a friendship. I don't
Mm,
know. Maybe it's just me that's seeing that. I don't know whether I'm seeing something else. Maybe did you are you feeling that? Also because I don't know whether it's the preview in the episode where she's like she should something like let her leave the son alone. Like, I don't know. Do you feel like, am I catching it wrong or
Well, I look at it like this. They were
yeah,
casually dating. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? He didn't put a ring on it. He didn't
Uh-huh.
announce, hey, this is my girl. None
Uh-huh.
of that. They were casually dating. Like Nell said, a man has needs. If you're not putting out, he's going to go somewhere where somebody's putting out. That's common sense. That's a man's nature. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And that goes for a man that you think is well kept. You could feed him 3 meals a day, have sex with him 3 times a day. You could do everything.
And yeah,
Uh, wash clothes. You could do everything. Be beautiful, gorgeous. Every man, every time when they see you, they turn around looking at you and admiring your beauty. And that man that you think is kept and you doing all this shit for, he will still go out and cheat. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So I say this to say that he don't owe Destiny nothing. You
Mm.
know what I'm saying? Okay, so you found out he had a baby. Okay, and so you now you know what time it was, right? Move on. How old are you? About 40? You know, like move on and go get you some business.
Mm.
That's how I feel
Well,
about it.
mm. But we'll get to see them in next week's episode, them talking it out. But I also get the feeling that Lance is also not interested in talking it out, but
He,
he just
yeah,
wants to be
he
there.
he said he was stressed. He's not
Yeah.
sleeping right. He got a newborn baby, you know. And I don't know how far that baby's mom is in the baby's life and in his life. I don't know if he's raising a baby by himself with I don't know if he has other kids that he's raising by himself with a newborn. I don't know what his situation is. But if this man got a lot going on, why you want to have a private powwow about something that wasn't gonna go anywhere? You know what
Mm.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was like a summer
Exactly.
fling. It was a summer fling.
Yeah.
A hookup that didn't
Mm.
hook up.
Mm.
It's flirting.
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll get to see how finally Destiny and Miss Nell sit down and have a chat. Hopefully, that would happen. But in the preview for next week, we see that the guys came together. I'm surprised that they are happy sitting down in the same place as Martell. But you know what? Let them go ahead to do what they want to do. Now, this guy, the new guy, the friend of this guy
Ken,
brought brings
was
the
that
friend
Ken's
of
friend?
yeah, Ken's friend
Okay.
brings up Arion and being like, oh, I know Arion differently. I don't effing care about how you knew Arion. I am tired of hearing Arion's name on this season.
Well, I'm pretty sure whatever this man has to say is going to change Martell's mind about him trying to wed Ariane.
Yeah.
I mean, Huntsville sounds like it's really small. Like everybody has dated each other. You know what I'm saying?
So everybody has dated each other.
Yes. It's like, what's the next town over? Like, go date somebody over there. Like, my God. It's like they all went to the same schools. They all hung out at the same places. They all, as adults, now they're all involved with each other. If they weren't involved in high school as adults, now they're all involved. Like, ugh, jeez. Whew. I don't know how
Yeah.
big the state of Alabama is, but Huntsville must be just a dot on the map. Now I'm surprised somebody said they haven't been with what's her name? Tish. Is that her name? But anyway, yeah, guess I'm excited to see next week's show. I'm a pre-record it like I do every week and watch it when I get time. But I enjoyed the show. It's had its ups and downs, but hopefully next week could do a little bit better. But I'm still gonna stick to my rating, 3.7. Because I feel like they can, get more personal. Like let us in, let us in. You know, hell, let us see you waking up early in the morning looking crazy without makeup. Let us see the house dirty every now and then. Trash not taken out. Because nobody's life is perfect. So I was just saying, I'm excited about next week. Hopefully the show get a little bit better. But I'm
Yeah.
still on my 3.7. I said I feel like they should get a little bit more personal. Like I would like to
Mm-hmm.
see what they wake up in the morning, how they look
I would
without
like to
makeup
know
on.
what made Lance a single father.
Well, they can get into that too. But I'm saying I would like to see some of the women wake up without makeup on and all this. I mean, that's reality to me. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
like to see your trash not taken out. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes that is the reality. You know what I'm saying? Like, who
Mm-hmm.
washes your car? Do you wash your own car? Do you clean your own house? Who cleans your house? You know, who folds your clothes? You know what I'm saying? Like, show us some real stuff. Instead of a one set in your house that is perfectly manicured and you know, I mean, I
I
don't have a
like you
perfect
said,
life. Say what?
I would love, like I was saying, they make it look as if their life is that perfect, which I know is not. It's not
Right,
like I'm saying that things are going bad for you. When someone says let them show their real life, maybe they want them to show the evil things going on in their life. Everybody has one thing going on in their life.
right.
Every one of us is going through one shit or the other. There are some shits I'm going through that I don't even want the next person to go through.
Uh-oh, I can't hear you. Yuzo, I can't hear you. But yeah, I agree. Nobody's life is perfect. It'd be nice to see some of the little imperfections, you know. I mean, because other than that, we're just watching an adult soap opera, huh? You know, where it's scripted but unscripted. Like, oh, today we're going to be in your kitchen. We're going to film in your kitchen and you're going to talk about this subject. Scripted, unscripted. So yeah, it'd be nice to see something, a little bit different, you know?
Oh, I don't know what's going on. Starlink be fucking me up this night. Like they're messing with my head right now.
Oh,
Like
wow.
tripping off. I don't know what's going on.
Was it your cable?
No, Starlink.
Oh, Starlink.
Yeah, like messing me, like just going off, tripping off, tripping off, tripping off. Like I don't know what's going on.
Mm.
I really don't know what's going on. But anyway, guys, before it trips off again, thank you guys for joining us on another review of of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Don't forget to like and comment your own opinion. Don't also forget to click on the subscribe button down below to subscribe. We'll see you guys same time next week. Have a nice day. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.